Hey everybody, in this tutorial I wanted to share with you how you can mount and frame cross stitch. This also would work for any sort of embroidery project. I am using my cabin cross stitch pattern. You will need some basting glue, mounting board, I'm using self-stick, some embroidery thread and an embroidery needle, pinking shears or some sort of scissors, a chalk pencil and some sewing pins, and some cotton fabric. Start by placing the mounting board face down on the cross stitch and trace along the edges of the mounting board. You may have to do this a couple of times. You want to make sure that it's completely centered the way you want it to be framed. Then you can trim the edges once you're happy with the placement, and I just use some pinking shears because that helps to prevent it from fraying. Next, you're going to peel off the adhesive backing if you have that on your board, and you're going to place it face down on top of the fabric. Next, secure the edges with some basting glue. I tried as best as possible to pull this tight so it's really smooth. And for the corners, I cut a little triangle out. That way there's less bulk around the corners. This step may seem a little excessive, but it actually is really helpful because it serves as an anchor point for your sewing pins when you're securing the fabric to the mounting board. And it also acts as a little bit of a cushion for the fabric, especially if you're using something that's a little bit thinner. Now it's time to place this mounting board face down on the back of the cross stitch. Next, you'll place some pins evenly spaced out along each side of the fabric. You'll just secure these into that background fabric you secured to the mounting board. Again, this step seems like something you could rush through, but honestly, I think it helps a lot because it really just makes sure that you are evenly pulling the fabric so you're not going to warp it or have any wrinkles when you're done framing it. To secure the corners, you're going to fold up the corner along the back edge and pull it tight. Then you will fold over both corners of the fabric, and you want to pull these really tight because you want the corners to be as crisp as possible. Secure with a pin on both edges of the fabric, and then just repeat this for all four corners. Double check again that you're happy with the way the front looks, and then we will start securing everything with stitches. I prefer to do a quilter's knot to start because you can control the size of the knot. So that's what I did to start, and then I'm going to start making stitches across one side to another, and I'm just kind of zigzagging these stitches. The only reason you really need to do this is to secure the fabric down enough to where it's not going to get in the way when you frame it, and it also will just make sure that the fabric is tight and won't sag. This is just one way to do this. You can also secure the fabric down with a herringbone stitch and a curved needle. I'm loosely following what Royal School of Needlework's book recommends for framing, but I did switch it up a little bit just because I didn't have curved needles. To finish a stitch, I do a finishing knot, and I basically just go back down through the fabric, and then I'm going to pull the thread until a loop forms, and then I will pull the thread through twice, catching a loop each time, and that will secure a knot. Once you have gone across one side, you're going to do it on the other two sides as well. Finally, I whip stitched the corners. Again, I just wanted to make sure these were super tight. I was worried that they might start to sag a little bit, so I went ahead and reinforced them. Once you have secured all four corners, you're pretty much done, so you can take out all of the pins and it's ready to frame. My frame has a covering on the back, so I didn't worry about covering up these stitches, but if you are framing it in a way that is going to expose the back, you can cover this with fabric or felt. And that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Like and follow if you'd like to see more embroidery content.